Okay, good morning, everybody. We're playing some more Boros Stoneblade today. I had a suggestion on Twitter from a Twitter user named Will, who suggested playing Trepanation Blade in the sideboard to beat up on the Ubersoul spells and Belcher matchups. Both matchups can be pretty hard for this deck, but Trepanation Blade is whenever a equipped creature attacks, they reveal from the top of their library until they reveal land. And then this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each card revealed this way, and then they also put those cards in the graveyard. So not only does this card mill your opponent out completely, but it also gives your creature like +45, +45, and just kills them in one shot too. You guys want to keep this? Please be Belcher. Please be Belcher. Your deck looks really funky, not gonna lie. Well, thank you for your honesty. It's always very appreciated here. Kihira Spirebluff Canal. Kihira Spirebluff Canal. Oh, it's Lotus Field. Another funky deck, perhaps. Some might say. How many copies of Boseiju added to Jeskai Lotus list? To Jeskai Lotus Field? Probably 0. I think it's going to be very uncommon for any deck to play more than one copy of Boseiju, chat. Boseiju is... I can't believe how overhyped this card is. It's like... It will see play as a one-of in some decks. That's kind of it. Solitude pitch to Fairy, then Lotus Field. Blood Moon off the top. Wish granted. Wish granted. If my opponent ever asked any of you guys, I had this Blood Moon in my hand the whole time. Had it in my hand the whole time. Just covering my tracks in the chat there. I probably just confused them a little bit with that comment, to be honest. Let's let him in on the joke. Maybe we could have got Batterskull instead. I think it's fine to get the sword, though. Yeah, building mediocre decks to farm trophies was the plan at the start. I love Lotus Field, though. Yeah, about to hardcast this Kaldra, I think. So if you play as one of any more, that would be nonsense in modern. Legacy go up to 2 lands, which you can 0 copies because they're good Bazaar shops. Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. Like, Titan and Tron will play 1 copy, and so will Jund Saga. And then people are going to brew bad red-green lists or Jund lists that play like 4 Boseiju and 4 Red and 6. They're like, and they're going to beat Tron every time they get paired against them, and they're going to lose percentage points in every or almost every other matchup. And then they'll stop playing those decks because they don't win very much. And then we'll, I think it's, just see Boseiju and again Lotus Field, or no, sorry, Jund Saga and Tron and Titan as a one of, and it'll be like nice, like it's a nice card, and I keep saying this, but what's good about Boseiju is that the card has a really low opportunity cost. Like, it does not cost you very much to put a Boseiju in Tron Titan or Jund Saga, and it has like high upside, right? For a land, it's a very very unique effect, you know. Okay, so this beats Solitude here. Brian, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. Except for the part where Ponzi players stop playing the deck just because it's bad. That's probably true, yeah. Okay, Forge-Tender because they have Fury. Feast and Famine's probably pretty good. Could play Wear Tear for Blood Sun. Not sure. Want to cut the endings. 1 or 0 Solitude. Probably just 0. Maybe. I guess maybe 1 and then 2 Wear Tear. Let's probably do this. Yeah, this was a Twitter suggestion. Trepanation Blade to beat Belcher and Noobsoul spells. I really want to do it once today. I haven't got paired against the matchups yet. What about the Jessica version? It's still around, still viable. I just want to try this version out again. I think that like if you want to build into this deck, like you probably want to have both versions in your wheelhouse and play Jeskai when like Tron is more popular, when you feel like you need the Dovin's vetoes, and then play this version when you think Blood Moon is better, or if you if you feel like Trepanation Blade is going to carry you to victory. Silence is also pretty good. Any Kamigawa modern playable besides Channel Lands? Yeah, I think there's probably close to 20 playable modern cards we've seen. Playable also like has it covers like a pretty broad range, like because like some of those are like brews that will be fun but probably not that good, and some of those are like fringe playable, maybe doesn't have a home. But I do think there's a lot of cards that are like solid, right? I would say this is one of the highest power level standard sets we've seen in a while, maybe like since Ikora. Although people think Ikora was like super low power level for some reason. Since Throne. I mean, Ikora was like one of the most impactful sets of all time. I feel like Ikora was like the last super crazy set. Just like Triumph's Companions changed the game in Modern forever, right? Ikora Lane's Companion. No, it has Triumphs and Companions. Both like that is like an absurdly impactful set. Oh, they also have Chalice. Yeah, I probably should play the third Wear Tear, actually. Can't believe I forgot about Chalice. I think there's gotta be something else from Ikora I'm forgetting too, actually. Yeah, in the context of Modern, it's a powerful standard. Typhoon, yeah, Typhoon. That was the card, Typhoon. Wait, it also had Ozolith? Oh, man. But it says, can I have my Fury back? I'm gonna have to decline, I think. Oh yeah, I love Sprite Dragon. I've cast so many Sprite Dragons. Did you miss Goblins? You haven't played any Goblins today. We might play some later. A lot of people asking for it. And we've been winning a lot with it too, so it's definitely a deck I want to be playing. Oh yeah, Luke. Yeah, Ikora was certainly more impactful in Modern than in Standard, but we're just talking about like Standard sets that were impactful in Modern. I don't think I phrased it super well. It's Ikora. Ikoria. Oh, really? Wait. Okay, whatever. Ikoria. Okay. Yeah, but I feel like Ikoria was one of the most impactful Standard sets to Modern ever. And, like, people never give it the credit that it deserves. Oh, Winoda's in that set too? Jeez. Overlooking Aegis Turtle? Yeah, I forgot to mention Aegis Turtle. What's the record for Goblins? We were 5-0 into 5-0-0-1. 5001, 5021, I think, or 1-1. I think 1-1. So I think 11 and 2 with goblins. I also think I do want to change up the sideboard a little bit. I want to play some chalices in the sideboard, I think. Dude, yeah, mutate is my least favorite mechanic of all time. It's just like, what? I don't know. Put a creature, you put it on top of or underneath this creature. And I'm like, what does that mean? Or what? Where you do what? You put it on top of or underneath? What does that mean? I just like. They just like there's like no reminder text on the mutate cards. It just says put it on top of or underneath, and I'm like, what is this mechanic? You know? He takes it so tired. I know, but man, I just like it's my least favorite mechanic of all time. Okay, let's keep this. Good hand, good hand. Wait, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. This is not like a, you know, this is not another dig at mutate necessarily. But what happens if you flicker a mutated creature? If you have a creature, you've mutated it, and you ephemerate your creature, what happens? Judge. They separate? Okay, weird. Void Mirror, Grid, and Chalice hits all Fury decks. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you, Boggart. Of course, Boggart's gonna have some good insight like this. I agree, yeah. Okay, well, Sentinel's probably not gonna be that good. I guess I'll offer a trade here. Nothing is you're playing a form like Pioneer later. Just Mutate was a real deck in Standard, right? I remember I was testing for a PT and there was a Mutate deck going around. Batterskull's pretty good against spirits. They can't spell queller it, they can't Skyclave it. They'll get this. Kaldra would be pretty good too, but in my experience, spirits has a really hard time beating Batterskull. That being said, I'm just gonna Blood Moon him. just gonna Blood Moon him. If I could see Skyclave, I've played against spirits like a surprising amount lately, and they've always had Skyclave against me. I've played against her probably like 5 times in the last month, and they always have Skyclave. Ooh. So I'm gonna attack with this champ if I want it. I do want it, so I can put the Maul on it in combat. How do they ever play around this? I mean, I guess they could probably make the read actually. Like, what else does this attack mean? Does March of Other Really Light kill EE or Chalice with just 1 mana? Yes, it does. And then I can go Batterskull equip onto Fervent Champion next turn. They probably just take it. Yeah, they should have, but it's like they're really behind, and I think that they just like maybe have to try to call any bluff. Like when you're behind, it's like you need to just take all the highest upside plays you can in spots like this. I feel. If they don't block you, put in Batterskull. Yeah. I guess we get more damage in potentially. How did that swap the line much decrease the block? Well, maybe that was better, yeah. Yeah, it was better. Okay, let's bring in the third ending. I don't think I want Giant Killer or Feast and Famine. Probably just trimming a Blood Moon on the draw. Sentinel's not very good either, I guess. Is Wear Tear good? Wear Tear's not that good. But why would you buff? Yeah. I'm not saying that like it was necessarily correct. I'm just saying why you would call there. Giant Killer's good. Is it? I feel like it very often doesn't kill their creatures. Let's go to 5. You could be right. Oh man, really interesting 5. My opponent's also gone 2-5. I think I put back Prismatic Ending Ragavan. Is that right? I really want to keep Ragavan. I think I need to put back the Ragavan. Yeah, Trepanation Blade is Belcher-Tech. It was a Twitter suggestion last night. It was amazing suggestion. Especially because, again, that matchup is, like, really tough, right? It's kind of nuts that Prismatic Ending deals with Dahlia for 2 mana. Ragavan seems really bad against spirits. I don't know. Ragavan just is good against tribal decks, I feel. Like, it's just kind of hard for your opponent to navigate around it a lot of the time. Well, my opponent definitely has Spellqueller. Right. I mean, they did mull to 5. I think I'll just put my worst foot forward here. Attack first? Well, I don't want them to eat my champion either. I think I just want to let them Spellqueller me. That's what I get for talking trash about this card earlier today. Deserve this. Alright, do you have a Rattle Chains to tap my champion? Only taps it for this turn too. I guess I gotta get pro blue. Probably could have attacked first to land the spell. I care more about keeping Fervent Champion in play than resolving Ranger-Captain, I think. Because, like... Well, maybe that's not true. It is what I thought at the time, but maybe that's not correct. I don't know. But it seems fine, right? Either way. Why would you cast this Drogsko, Captain? Why would you ever cast this here? Just defeated mentally. I'm just like, why you could ending with two mana on Thalia. So ending doesn't exile a mana value permanent that equals X. It exiles a permanent if the number of colors spent on ending equal X or less. So we targeted Thalia. X was 1. We spent white mana, we spent red mana, and then we did spend 2 colors on it. And so the Thalia like made your so X was 0, X was 0, X was 0, but we still spent 2 colors on it. And it still got exiled. Splash Shuck for the 9 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I think you're right, they just forgot Pro Blue. Okay, pretty fast 2-0-4-0. We had a pretty fast 3-0-6-0 this morning, and then had a tricky game against Hammer Time that I didn't play very well. Okay, we're on the draw against Lurrus. Sentinel and Ending are 2 premium cards against Lurrus decks. You also don't want to mulligan too aggressively against them. So obviously, a kind of weak hand, but I think I'll go ahead and keep anyways. What do you think of Sinew and Steel on the sideboard? Probably not that good. I have tried it in the past, but like if Affinity was really popular, I'd play it. But I don't think Affinity is like that popular. I thought about Deafening Silence over Sideboard for Silence. Well, I would love Deafening Silence, but the problem with that card is that it doesn't stop Shardless Agent. It stops Violent Outburst, but Shardless Agent is a creature, so it doesn't really work. Hey, what's up?
Would you like some breakfast?
What are you thinking?
Okay, well, I'm making chilaquiles for myself. You can have some, or
Yeah,
you could also have
like that. Yeah.
waffles.
Oh, I would
the
like
frozen
waffles. Oh, chilaquiles.
Okay, or the smoked salmon.
Not smoked salmon.
Okay.
Thank you, baby. Yeah, I was excited for waffles, but they were could be made from the freezer, not with love. Well, we without sounding too without this being too much. We had smoked salmon the other day. Do you think the new Parthenon synergy is not a meme? Since I said I try to build around it. Yeah, I don't think it's a meme. Like it's like on turn 3, you get to reanimate it, accrue it, attack for 13, have 2 angels in play that can block. I'll like there is like a difference, of course, between being not a meme and being constructed, playable, and modern. But I do think it's somewhere in between. All right, let's dash Ragavan. We're pretty likely to be able to kill the Swift Spear off the Ragavan dash, right? And the next turn we can go. Well, I guess we can't play an equipped sword in Ragavan. We bricked. I might not crack the fetch so I can go Blood Moon and then not have to take the damage. Boros turned me down to 9. Yeah, you can't unmark Grave for Parthenon, but you can Goblin Engineer for it. And then you also have Smuggler's Copter too. I think you play Smuggler's Copter in this deck because it obviously loots your equipment away, and then it also man, Blood Moon Lester would have been so good. They had 2 white cards in their hand. Dang it. Oh, sorry, they didn't. They just tapped white for the Skullcrack. Yeah, you also have Smuggler's Copter to like loot these cards away. I'm pretty interested in the deck. I think trying to just cut them off white spells is the line here. Well, they didn't cast a spell. We're dead to any spell, so it's not like we're playing around anything. I guess they have no. They played a land, right? So they could have, if they have Searing Blaze. Yeah, doesn't matter. Please make this deck good. Well, I can't. Well, one, I'm not gonna try to pay off anybody's buyouts, but I will say I never make decks good. I just discover if a deck is good or not. You know what I mean? And we'll try it out. We'll see if it is good. But I'm unable to just force something to become good. So I'm one damage short this turn, unless I draw a land, which I didn't draw the land. But it's not that tough for me to hit a burn spell off Ragavan in theory, right? But so we'll talk about it in a second, but there is a new, I guess we'll talk about it now. There's a new creature. It's a 3 mana 4/3. It costs black white 1, and it says the ability at the beginning of combat on your turn, you return a vehicle from your graveyard to play, and it gains haste. You still have to crew it, but this card also crews the whatever this white creature is called. Come on, burn spell. Do I have landfall? I don't have landfall. Oh, but they're at 1. Let's go! Parhelion 2. Awesome. What a game. And so it comes down, it hits them for 5 with the vehicle, then you make 2 Vigilant Angels, and you hit them for 13, and you have 2 Angels in play. And so you could theoretically do this on turn 3. Seems pretty strong. You also get, you get to play other cards in the deck. Maybe you play it in an Asmo shell to have synergies with the artifacts and the discard outlets. Goblin Engineer puts this card in the graveyard, which is pretty interesting. And the Goblin Engineer also can have other synergies in the deck as well, which is interesting as well. Engineer maybe eats a removal spell. I think it buys room for this card to go off. Goblin Engineer can maybe put Spellskite in the yard to protect your 4/3 creature, who I can't remember the name of. I'm sure someone in chat will tell you. But it's all pretty interesting. Okay, so we used to have Deflecting Palms in the sideboard for this matchup. We don't have them anymore. Silence counters Rift Bolt, which is kind of interesting. But I think I'll just play 1 Moon and keep them all in. It's a white card for Solitude at least, right? What vehicle? So yeah, so the vehicle we're going to bring back again, because I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with this card. I think think it's Parh. Yes. This is Parhelion 2. It's an 8-mana vehicle, flying first strike vigilance. When it attacks, you get 2 4/4 angels with flying and vigilance and has crew 4. And this creature has 4 power to crew it. So the idea is you play engineer on 2, put this in the yard, and then you play this 4/3, bring this back, attack for 13. Is it going to be competitive? I don't know, but it is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to try it out. The problem is it bounces back to your end step. It's not that big a problem because you're likely to have playing a deck with lots of looting effects. But you also have 2 4/4 angels in play. You just attack them for 13, so you have 8 more power. So like that also kills them, even if that doesn't work right. What's the creature? I'm not sure what it's called. It's a new black-white legend. Yeah, you probably play Spyro. I agree. Might play Unearth too. What if you can afford to play the Tinker thing? Maybe, yeah, maybe. Although then you don't have a way to crew it, and that if you do that, maybe not. Just splash, you know, I don't know. Okay, I have the draw against Bird. This is a mulligan, I think. Even though a hand's kind of painful, no 1-drops, even though this gets Forge-Tender. You play Nightmarker Luca? Yeah, that card sucks. Sorry. I was also thinking you can play Urza Saga in this deck, right? And then Urza Saga, obviously, very powerful card, but what I like about Saga, or the idea behind Saga, is that you can, trying to remember exactly what it was. There's that 1-mana vehicle. The 1-mana vehicle that's a 7/11. 7/11 trample. I don't know what that card's called. Dreadship or something. But you can Urza Saga for that. And so it's also, I'm not sure that like this is the same deck necessarily. I'm not sure this is the same. Yeah, Constant Dreadnought. I'm not sure this is the same deck exactly, but I think Urza Sagging for Dreadnought is going to be something I'm going to try, especially with the new land that crews a vehicle. There's obviously like some synergy there, right? Ooh, Forge-Tender off the top. Let's go. You don't think it's trap? Okay, I thought it did. We can look maybe. Yeah, but there's a new land that you pay 3 and tap it to crew a vehicle. I mean, I guess you probably console. And I feel like you play that plus this card plus Urza Saga. It's kind of interesting to me. It's crew 6, but you can crew with your mana. You can also crew this card with Urza Saga tokens, which is kind of interesting too. Like if you just Saga plus Dreadnought means you can go token, crew Dreadnought. So like it is possible like this combination is already somewhat playable. Maybe not, but it's like at least something to look at, right? The new 2/2 for the Dash and Burn, not playable. Burn is like way more mana hungry than you think. I think. Yeah, no trample on Dreadnought, yeah. Bit of a bummer. Okay, so do I play double Sentinel next turn, or do I just Stoneforge and grab Batterskull? Kind of like double Sentinel, play a little slower, get another Forge-Tender off the Ranger-Captain next turn, take you know, one more hit. Does this make Copter good at Modern? It makes it a lot better for sure. Dreadnought doesn't have trample or haste, so it's probably not that great of now. Yeah, it's just like something that like if you're figuring these decks out, like this is another nice thing. If you're already an Urza Saga deck, you're already playing the land that crews vehicles. Like the Dreadnought is like a really good one of. And I'm really excited to try it. I'm stoked. Thank you, Goblin Guide. Block here. Tinker, vehicle, reanimate, Sky Sovereign makes sense. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Sky Sovereign, yeah, but yeah. I'm interested. I like the card Sky Sovereign a lot. It's gonna be a Martin deck with Karn. Maybe Karn, maybe not Karn. There's a lot of options. So I'm gonna spend some time, I think, brewing it tonight for Channel Fireball, actually. And I'm gonna put like my first draft of this deck up on Channel Fireball. I think drawing Ragavan, I want to play Ragavan. So I can go block. I think I can now get Stoneforge Mystic for Skull. Yeah, I don't think that land's very good. The draw a card, second draw a card if you control artifact, and also if you control enchantment. Metalwork Colossus version? Probably not, but you never know. Oh, Dakin is actually... Yeah, Dakin's actually an interesting card, too, for the archetype, huh? Yeah, you could be Esper with Dakin and Mending. There's a lot of options. I really like it. I really like it. There's going to be very cool. I think that land is playable in Hammer. Oh, this one? I don't know. Hammer... No, it's not. Hammer cannot afford more colorless lands. It's like full stop. Can't afford more. Okay, so it's really nice if this Ragavan connects and I'm able to play around Smash the Smithereens on my Batterskull. Also fine just trading Ragavan for any creature here. Yeah, it could be a Pioneer deck too. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. This will be a cool combo to explore. I think we just don't play around Smash the Smithereens, right? I mean, if they're considering attacking, they probably have it, right, though? I'm just gonna activate. Playground seems good. Well, I have to draw on untapped lands. I'm not, like, in truly terrible shape, even if they do have it. It's Wear Tear, not Smash. It's also pretty good for me. I don't mind drawing a Solitude. Yeah, I think I go down to 6 so I can get a Sneakister.
It's really snowing out there.
It's snowy?
Yeah, it's like thicker now.
I could also Kaldra them. Is it better to just go Kaldra, attack, put them to 12, the next 3 put them to 7? It's going to be pretty hard for them to race that. It's with our Forge-Tender in play. Sophie seems better. I think Kaldra seems better. I could be wrong. We also get another spell pretty much for free, right? Because not a huge difference between being at 6 and 4 besides Boros Charm. Yeah, Kaldra's, 5 damage this turn while we don't get them with Sophie next turn. Isn't snowing in Texas last time during the state shutdown? Yeah, it was brutal. Me and Esther heated up SpaghettiOs over my car heater vent. It was, we lost power for like 24 hours, then on for 24, then off for like 12. It's a rough time. 10 damage spell, what? Yeah, I don't think it's not going to be as bad. Last time was like a really like very crazy storm. Yeah, the Spirit Bomb. This is a cost to cast spell. You may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Also, it's like Burn at the Stake. This will cost 1 less for each creature tapped this way. 10 damage to any target. Cool card. Cool card. Good card here too. Isn't that playable in Gen Sac? Probably not. So I can Solitude the Eidolon. I can also just wait here. Yeah, I should just be fine waiting. I can Solitude my own guy to gain life. Why the Sing next card name becomes so expensive? It's always been that expensive. Wait, they're wasting a Skullcrack now. It's actually a big deal. Yeah, they straight up just can't cast another spell either. Yeah, that was a big mistake to tap the Islet. They need to draw a card there, right? Yeah. Okay, we are 3-0-6-0 with this list for the second time today. Last time we played a really tricky match against Hammer, and I messed up games 1 and 3 in a real painful match, to be honest. Yeah, it's also good. It was way colder for way longer, so I don't think this year is gonna be nearly as bad. Okay, opponents revealed Yorion. Probably put back Batterskull with this hand. Containment Construct. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile the card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. So it just gives any card in your hand madness, basically. That ain't so bad. It probably ain't so good either, to be honest, but it ain't so bad. Probably not. It being a 2/1, it's also like not really a card you can build around for 2 mana. Gives every card in your hand madness, I guess, yeah. Ouch. Second Fervent Champion would be pretty cool. Kill the red in 6. Alright, not quite. Works well with Asmo. Imagine winning the die roll this game, man. Shock, 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 shock. Yeah, 0% chance of ever shocking there. Probably have abundant growth. Maybe I wasn't supposed to fetch then, actually. No, abundant growth was big, though. Will the Blood Moon actually be able to punish the 4-color deck for once? Alright, no Solitude 2 would be nice. Can't have everything, though. Oh, Bolt, yeah. Oh, worse than Solitude, even. Just a Yorion into the hand, though, for my opponent. Plus the Ren and 6. A lot of good draws for us. That's not one of them, though. Don't have a second white for the Solitude. The Ren emblem with the bolt is pretty scary. Okay. Don't need to be scared anymore, I think. Hopefully. Fuck! This stupid monkey. They even exile planes from the top of my library. Exile Spell Pierce. So white card or placing planes are pretty good just to stop this monkey from unlocking their hand. They have to go to discard here. Javier is probably pretty good if they don't have Bolt or Ragavan. Okay, we can get Maul of the Skyclaves here. There's a white card. And equip. See if they have Bolt. They do. Or Batterskull. I think that I want them all. I think getting hit by Ragavan is devastating. Where like all I have really going for me is this Blood Moon, or this, I can't let them get unlocked for Blood Moon. Fuck. It's crazy how good their deck is against Blood Moon, though. It's not that hard for them to get unlocked from it. Come on. Okay, that's actually a fantastic draw. That is surprisingly a fantastic draw here. What a game. Alright, they've used 2 Lightning Bolts already. 80 card deck. They do have 7 cards in their hand, though. They also have Solitude. I think they have Solitude. Wait, they're ending a Blood Moon, so they're gonna Solitude my... You're gonna pay 5, though? Okay. That doesn't do anything. I mean, they're 100% to have Solitude here. It's just like... Yeah. Pitch the Yorion. I mean, if they exile my other Blood Moon, I do get to Solitude here, though. So I think they're going to ending my other Blood Moon. And then maybe they go for Omnath, I get to Solitude, and maybe I get to connect with the swords. I mean, I think I should just use my mana here. They could easily have another Solitude, though. Use a counterspell, okay. Come on, Javier, please carry me to victory! They have another counterspell? Ugh. Yeah, pretty tilting match. For sure. He waves to tier 1, appreciate you. Go, Kaldra, go. Oh, never resolving here, I think. I don't know, they've used 2 counterspells, they usually only have 4. Maybe have Solitude. I'd be pretty surprised if they have nothing. They got double Brainstorm off. Played out. I've used less than 2 minutes of my clock somehow. It's crazy. If I could draw Ranger-Captain, I can go Ranger-Captain, Fervent Champion, or Ranger-Captain sack. Is that good? Don't want to sack it. I'm a mana short of Sword plus Kaldra equip. They're plussing Jace on me. They chose not to put a card on the bottom. They didn't put Stoneforge Mystic on the bottom? What the hell? Not that I think we're winning, but that was like, I probably would put that one on the bottom. Yeah, if we won the Dyro, we'd probably win this game too. It's okay, it's okay. We don't need everybody in the chat to sympathy tilt for me. I'll be okay. I spoke with the 2 years. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's try him. They got Omnath in that deck. Maybe next week we running Kaldra and Batterskull? Maybe. Spoke Founder Badge, 2-year resub, quite the flex. Ping Stoneforge Mystics. They're going to play a second Ren and 6. Definitely not a huge show of strength here. Fetch lands. How many fetches will they play? I don't know. Kind of. Yeah, who knows? Anybody's guess. 3 cards in their hand. Surely none of them are good. What? If I draw land, I could just replay Batterskull. A Javier. I feel like a Javier has a decent chance of resolving and sticking on this board. I'm not obviously not sure. You've got 2 cards up. It's a tap land? I can't believe it. Ugh, that's brutal. I'm gonna play it out though. I can't believe it. It's the 3rd Vantage. So I'm going to 6 life. So here's the thing. If I bounce the Batterskull, I can't go Javier. Or can I? Can I? If I 5 to cast. Oh, I can't actually equip Batterskull to Javier. I can cast and equip it. So it's probably fine. They only have 1 card in their hand too. Oh, but it's Solitude. Alright, I think we're gonna lose. Take my draw step, I guess. So I play this. They Solitude it. I gain 4. Up to 10. And then they have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the Ragavan and the Solitude. Yeah, I thought they might wait for me to spend the mana, but they just want to try to kill me. So I'll pack it in here. Won't make them use the clock. Always concede when I'm 100% dead. Oh, sorry. I meant to grab the Feast and Famine. Thank you. Yeah, I meant to grab the Feast and Famine. I grabbed the Blade. Then I just like saw Feast and Famine on the board. I grabbed it. Yeah. Thank you. Good catch. Pretty sure this is the sideboard plan. They got plenty of time on their clock. They do have to play faster if they're going to win games 2 and 3. They could also just win game 2, maybe. Keeping this. We're having a fit of any IRL mind games for your Magic? Yeah, I mean, I think bluffing is good for the game. GTD with Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I always feel like Magic needs more bluffing. Is Belcher real deck? Yeah, Belcher's very, very good. It's just, our deck's like worst matchup, which is why we have the Blade. Are they letting me draw a card here? Oh, they're playing Ragavan. Man, Ragavan's so good, huh? I just want Kaldra. Probably should grab a sword. Probably Fire Ice because I'm a bit flooded here. Could also like block here if I want. Yeah, I'm going to, I think. But it's definitely speeding up their play a little bit here, which they need to. I should probably use the mana on the sword here. Then I can go Sentinel equipped next turn. Bad against Teferi, I guess. They have 4 cards in their hand. Man, that would have been such a sick draw. Golly. Ragavan always does this. They showed Teferi last game? No, but they have 4. They did actually. They did have it, but they also definitely play it. They did show it, I forgot. Oh, okay. It's fine. Actually, Omnath is fine because you didn't have a land. I recant my... I'm going to main face of Solitude, though. Okay, and then I love that concession, so they just have like a full 10 minutes on their clock for game 3. Love that concession. I mean, I think it was just a good play for them to concede there, is what I meant. Like I've been playing this matchup or these kinds of matchups a lot lately, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot where my opponents just like, they just don't leave themselves enough time to win game 3, these 4-color decks. So I like seeing my opponent actually doing that. So here I'm going to play Esper Sentinel on turn 1, so if my opponent has a turn 2 Renin 6, I get to draw a card off the Sentinel, and then I get to attack Renin 6 with Ragavan. Cut Moons for Ending. I mean, Ending sucks in this matchup. It's like okay against Ragavan and Renin 6, but like those aren't the problem cards in the matchup. I know that they're playing around Blood Moon. Like I think you just like still have to make them play around it. I don't know. You could pitch Blood Moon to Fury, but I understand that Blood Moon's like not as good as we want it to be. That doesn't make Ending all of a sudden like a really good card though. I mean, we got our wish here, but we a little bit flooded again this game. Silence is better than Deafening Silence because Deafening Silence doesn't stop Shardless Agent. Alright, good draw. So you get a Javier with Ranger-Captain, I guess. There's a reason to fetch the Thin if your life total is being pressured. I mean, fetching the Thin is good, but I wanted to play the Inspiring Vantage in case I drew another one. Yeah, Singing Prelate is modern legal. You can play that instead of Silence. That's a fine option, for sure. When it exiles a Ragavan. Plays it. Passes. No land drop. 6 spells in my opponent's hand. Pretty sure I go for Sword plus Champ. It's bad against like Solitude, Int removal on Ranger-Captain, but it's not like the end of the world either. I think we're likely just to see a Chimp block here. If they had Solitude, they should have Solitude in response to Equip, but it's not like me gaining 3 extra life matters that much. I just gain, or 2 extra life matters that much, yeah. This is definitely a mistake for them, but it's not like a huge one. Extra life does matter on Clock is current. I mean, Clock is not a concern necessarily. Like, I mean, it is. Like, but I will still concede if I'm 0% to win. Like I did game 1, like I do every game. Damn it. Damn it! That's such a good hit. It's frustrating. Draw land for turn. The main phase is play around Counterspell. Matt, do you think we're converting Prime Gaming into Tier 1? This is just like such a frustrating card to see here. Yeah, betrayed by Javier. Finds the lands. So casting that is kind of weak into Counterspell, which I sort of suspect my opponent of having here with the mana they've left up. So I think I just want to Dash Monkey Equip. Let Javier Chump block for this turn, then move the sword over to Solitude post-combat. Fury is also better against Omnath, I guess. Probably play the Canyon. If I draw a second Canyon, I'll be really happy I did this. My life total is also pretty high. I mean, I have to pay 2 to Sacred Foundry, so this is maybe even saving my life total anyways. Okay. So they got 5 cards in hand, 6 minutes on the clock. 4 of their cards in hand are spells, I think. I guess they could have put a land in hand off iteration too. Plays land for turn. Shock Stomping Ground down to 14. 3 mana to Prismatic Ending. Solitude looks like. Oh, explosives. So So definitely not playing this Ranger-Captain first. Let's just go ahead and I think attack. See what my opponent does. Yeah, they chump block so they don't have to tap out of Counterspell, I think. So I think I'll just go ahead and draw a card. Let's hold up Hardcast Solitude. Definitely not playing Ranger-Captain into the explosives here. I don't think I want to play the Fury either. They didn't pop the explosives. I view that as like a very greedy line when they have 3 spells in their hand and they're like a little behind on mana. I think that I find that line to be extremely greedy. Obviously, it could depend on their hand, but fetch land combo with Solitude and Captain. Yeah. Sorry, I said yeah. I actually don't know what you mean. All right. Play a second Solitude here. They almost definitely have Counterspell, right? Yeah. I think I kind of want to play my Fury here. So if they have another Counterspell, they're kind of incentivized to counter this. I think I get to either hit them with the Solitude or they pop their explosives. I feel like either outcome is pretty good for me. Yeah, up a humble 15 minutes on the clock. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I really feel like Yorion players in general need to play faster. Obviously, like, people need to take time to learn their deck, but like, oh, come on, Verdict. Dang it. Okay, Blood Moon's okay here. I can go Stoneforge. I can't play all of my spells, I guess. Oh, this is tough. Moon cuts my opponent off of Omnath. Verdict, Hardcast Solitude. I think here I like Ranger-Captain. Sort of Feast and Famine. My Feast and Famine is dead. Dash Ragavan, play Blood Moon. Or potentially like Teferi, right? Good one for them to not draw. How, in what world is it possible to play around Spell Pierce there? In what? Does Moon do anything? Yes, it cuts them off of Omnath and Hardcast Solitude. In what world, though, is it possible to play around that Spell Pierce? Impossible to play around it there. You just get got by that every single time. Okay, plus got 2 cards in hands. I can put my opponent to 1. Which I don't think is 0. I'd have to double check my math. This is game 3. Yeah, I've also never seen Spell Pierce in their deck either. It's not like a bad card, but just like it's just impossible to play around. You just get got again. You get got by it every single time, which is a part of the reason why to play it, I imagine, right? Fetch land is such a sick top deck for them. At the very least, they can Yorion here, draw 3 cards. But I guess they die if they don't have Solitude. Would you consider second Captain and upkeep? Not really, I think. So they get to Yorion with 2 mana up. Yeah, they're gonna need Solitude white card, I guess. Oh, they're not. Oh, they're attacking first. Okay, which is free. Like, cost them time on the clock, I guess. They're less than 3 minutes. It's going to be very difficult for them to win this game with the amount of, or convince me that I'm 0% to win with this amount of clock, but it's possible. Have I played the 4-color deck? I have. I honestly dislike playing it, but I've tried it out a few times. I like the Rockirk deck at least. That deck's fun. Yeah, so they need Solitude white card, right? So you gotta imagine if they don't have it, they'll just concede. Which seems like about what's gonna happen. Yeah, okay. What a match, huh? Could they dash Ragavan? They could, but I have a blocker, right? Lost the die roll. Mulliganing 2. My opponent's also mulled to 6. They mulled so fast there. Good 6-card hand, though. I think on the draw, on the mull to 6, against a mulligan with no companion, I'm supposed to put back Solitude. Okay. Tron matchup is fine, but it's obviously like very much revolves around Blood Moon. If we just rip a Blood Moon here, we're obviously very happy, but we didn't. I'm probably gonna just be Ranger-Captaining sack on their upkeep here. Could maybe wait a turn. I kind of like sacking on their upkeep, just giving myself a chance to like, if they don't have Worm Coil here, this allows me to maybe just find Blood Moon off the top, right? I can also find Karn, the Great Creator, off Ragavan next turn, potentially. Which can sometimes just win the game by itself. Okay, they played their Tron piece and then passed. We're gonna attack and then probably play Sentinel, Stoneforge Mystic. Or maybe we don't play the Sentinel so that we could Solitude a Worm Coil, but they didn't have Worm Coil last turn. I'm pretty sure I get Sword of Fire Ice. I could get Kaldra. Kaldra doesn't get Oblivion Stoned, which is kind of nice. And it's also good against Worm Coil. But I think with the Fervent Champion, I'm probably supposed to get the Sword. I'll play the Sentinel. There was silence there. Well, you can still cast creature spells. Comment, I think it was 16 months. Okay, I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't sound cocky, but I feel like I've faced down against a lot of Karns lately, and like, I'm kind of shocked by how often Karn just feels like pretty beatable. Obviously, like, we're cold to, you know, other things, but I think I killed a Karn here. I can deal them 5. I need to deal at least 1 to Karn. I can deal them 7 down to 9. I feel like it's just not that relevant enough of a number to, you know, pass up on killing the Karn. I think we play this star. No, it's fine. Why does you have to beat Tron for the 5? Well, Tron's a really popular deck. Tron's a really popular deck at the moment. It's gain 10 life. Freaking Ulamog, man. Okay, well maybe they'll punt like this. Kind of free for the bean, huh? I guess I should sack the star first. Current seems to be able to Zulamog. Beatable when they mess up this badly. No respect for Javier. No respect for Javier. Yeah, second Ulamog incoming, of course. We all know. We all know. We all know. I don't know. Maybe they're out of gas one time in their life. Karn's beatable. Why? Why? Is that beatable? I mean, it's not 0% to be beatable, but we're, like, realistically, no, not beating it. Why is it Emrakul blue? Wait, they're casting the sword? Oh, they're just... Why do people float mana off Emrakul? They're just like, I'm gonna float mana because it's technically correct because I'm used to doing it off Mindslaver. It just wastes every time you float mana off Emrakul, it wastes the time. There's no point to doing it, but people just do it because they think this is the technically correct way to sequence this. Yeah, I know it's just habit, but it just doesn't ever make any sense. I mean, this is obviously a good draw. We can't quite put a sword on each and then attack here. The big question is, like, do I attack with Ragavan and Fervent Champion so I could just hit them with the Ragavan? I think the answer is no. And then the next question is, do I sack Ranger-Captain in their upkeep? Yeah, it is Mindslaver habit, but it never makes any difference. Yeah, I think I'll sack the Ranger-Captain in their upkeep. Waste like 1 second. Yeah, but it's, you know, they do it every time. It, you know, it adds up. It's obviously like not like a super serious thing to complain about. But here I am complaining about it, I guess. Triple Sword of Fire Ice Gang. Oof. Love to be able to cast that. So I need Javier number 3. Javier number 3. Ragavan number 3. Ranger-Captain. Assuming they attack. Okay, they just don't attack. I guess that's fine. What a game, though. But they got Tower, not Blast Zone. Easy Kaldra, right? Connects out Ending to Rekarn. Can hardcast Kaldra next turn. It's not quite lethal, though. It's one short. One stupid damage short. Oh, my opponent keeps playing around haste creatures. And I get to hardcast Kaldra. I should tap the Canyon, right? There's not a big difference between being at 15 and being at 16. I died to Ugin either way. So I get to keep that extra mana for next turn. Solitude wins, and they gain 13. They have Dismember? Wait, why would they play around a haste creature if you have Dismember? Don't tell my opponent I said that. So now any 1-mana creature does it because I can equip Kaldra, so Sentinel now does it too. They figured it out. That doesn't work. Right on time, huh? Right on time. What a game. What a game. Played at this point? They're gonna attack, man. I don't know what to tell you. We're not coping that hard. Can you imagine the paid actor comments I'd have to deal with if they didn't attack there too? It's too much for me to deal with. Silence is actually kind of interesting, right? I don't know if it's good. I think it's actually probably good enough. Just cut the Solitude. Solitude sucks in this matchup. We can beat Wurmcoil with Maul and Kaldra. Man, we almost beat Ulamog Wurmcoil. Or Ulamog Emrakul. Oh, this hand sucks. It's okay. It's maybe on a 6-card hand it's a keep though. That's kind of copium. I would definitely mold this on 7, but like Ending and Ragavan are both pretty good. I guess I'd probably have to keep. Probably play like Vista, so I just keep that land on the bottom. And like Ragavan can be very good in this matchup. Ending is usually good early. Solitude's not great. How do we kill Ulamog? Well, we don't necessarily have to kill Ulamog, right? Like, we can ideally Blood Moon them. Like, I don't think that, like, most games, like, killing Ulamog is, like, this game-winning line. You know what I mean? House Dude bad when they exile their big creatures. Like, that's not the kind of games you want to play against Tron. You're not trying to play the game where, like, they Emrakul you and they Ulamog you and you have to, like, pitch Solitude and, like, take the cast trigger. Like, these are just, like... You can still win through these cards without the... Oh my gosh, what a draw. You can still win without the, without these cards, but it's like... These are not the games you want to play. Like, you want to Blood Moon them. Oh, man. I shouldn't have complained too much because I drew Moon, but obviously I would love to draw that next turn off Ragavan. Day 8 of the 16 months. Do we ending first? Yeah, absolutely. We don't need to play Moon on turn 2. There's just no reason to. How often matchups like this, Gmail are going to get Sideboard cards up in hand? Pretty often. They got a card on the Great Critter there. Obviously not every time. I guess we can find an equipment off this, maybe. Super whitelisted. Which one do we want, though? Feast and Famine or Fire Ice? Probably Fire Ice with this hand. It's pretty good. Okay, so they can search up a Sage you to kill my Blood Moon. So we've got to make sure that we kill them before that happens. Oh wait, that's next week. Sad no Thragtusk for us. I will cast the Sentinel though. Because they're probably casting Karn next turn, so we get to draw a card off that, right? Yeah, they would get Besage You here every time. Or Basic Forest and then Besage You. So they get Forest. We'll see if they have an answer to Moon. Stirrings. They're not casting Karn this turn. They're also not answering. And they let me draw a card. Wow. Weird. I have Snowlands in case I steal a snow card with Ragavan. Snowlands, yeah. So you can play Sentinel pre-combat to play around Gutshot. See if they are F6'd. I'm gonna target my Sentinel here. Oh, sorry, this already has... Yeah, never mind. Should just do this, actually. 6, 7, put them to 1. Favorite streamer told me it never comes up. It actually came up, so we started to do it. It never comes up until it does. Oh, 2, I guess. I miscounted somehow. Probably just play 1 Sentinel here. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Oh, the first strike. First strike, okay. I counted correctly the whole time. Have I ever played against Redane in Modern? No. Never played against Break the Ice either. Okay, we win game 2, despite kind of a loosey-goosey keep, to be honest. The Wear Tears are definitely a lot worse on the draw. I'm like... I think I'll play the first Solitude on the draw over the second Wear Tear. Yeah, there's just no downside, really. Awesome dead knee. Alright, one more. My opponent's built a 6. I think this hand's a keep. We have turn 1 ending for Mapstar Sphere. Then we have Stoneforge Mystic into Feast and Famine, Fervent Champion, Untapped Silence. Not too bad. And they build a 5. Seems like I've been winning a lot this cycle. Good to do. I think it is good enough to win a lot. I don't know. I like it a lot. This and the Jeskai version both feel fine. Probably would recommend this version over the 2 if I had to choose. If you had to choose, if you had to choose. It's up to the Twitch viewers. If you had to choose, if you had to choose. It's up to Watsy. If you had to choose, if you had to choose. It's up to Aspiring Spike. You're not gonna just natural Tron me on 5, are you? You wouldn't natural Tron me on a Mold to 5. Nobody would be that cruel, I think. Is this a reference? No, I'm just really good at freestyling. Okay, yeah, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. that third color for ending though. So do I upkeep silence them anymore? I don't think so. Because even if they have Tron, they're just gonna O-Stone. Yeah, I think I just cast the sword and equip. I know this plays into like the Tron O-Stone pretty hard. It's better against Karn, and also next turn I can go pre-combat Batterskull, equip onto Javier, deal them 11. Fuck. It's actually not so bad. That was all their cards actually. It's not so good either necessarily, but it's not so bad either. They started to play a spell and then didn't. I don't know what they pitched Sylvan Scrying. Would I ending here give the opportunity? Would I ending this O-Stone? Yeah, I would. Obviously, like, yeah, there's upsides to playing the third shock land. Like one, and there's also downsides. I don't know. It's nuanced for sure. So I definitely want to hold up the ability to bounce better. I mean, I'm gonna upkeep silence here. Just upkeep silence, hold up Batterskull bounce. They have to draw exactly power or exactly Urza's Tower off the top, right? Or I guess they could have like instant speed disenchant on my turn. Let's go! Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe we won that match. Ragavan also sometimes gives you third color for ending. 72, baby. That is a tie with Prince of P's record. That is a tie. I never thought we'd get here. I never thought at the beginning of the race we would tie Prince's record. I would if you had asked me like what percentage chance I put on tying the record, I would give you like actual like 0%. I was probably even asked to.